This week in Warhammer news, we got the biggest, the baddest, the thickest squig boys. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night, and let's get into this week's Warhammer news. Let's start by talking about the big news this week, and that is Kill Team Octarius, which we got a stunning preview to this before they even revealed what was coming in the box or even talked about or anything. GW released an amazing animated trailer for the new Kill Team set, and I just want to talk about it for a second because it's so cool. So we saw a little bit of clips from this particular animation during the Warhammer Plus advertisements and everything like that. And I had been really interested in it because I thought it looked really good. Like, I thought the Ork looked amazing. He does. The full trailer is spectacular. The level of like grit and grime and gore and violence that just occurs in this like short 2-minute like animation, the level of storytelling that occurs is beautiful. I love that each of the like Kreig guys as well as the Orks both had, like, all of them had personality. They all had like a little story around them. My favorite bit was probably the Ork guy just basically gunning down and his gun just never running out of bullets until he was killed. That was fantastic. And then additionally with the I believe it was the sergeant for the Death Korps of Krieg. Like, he was going and he was lit on fire, still reaching to have the bomb go. And then he had a total mission kill just as the Emperor intended, and everybody died, and it was amazing. It was cool. So, let's go ahead and talk about what's actually coming in the box, because I'm sure that's what a lot of you are here for. I know I'm certainly here for it, and I'm excited. So, it's going to come with the standard stuff you'd expect with a launch box for a new game. It's going to have a new rule book. There's going to be a campaign book. There's going to be a number of cards, both for the Orks as well as for the Death Korps of Krieg. It's going to have the double-sided board for you to lay your terrain out onto and everything to be able to play. It's going to come with rulers and dice, everything you need to get started with Kill Team. But additionally, it's coming with all of the models you need, of course. And I want to spend a bit of time talking about those because I'm so excited for this set. Holy cow, we're finally getting plastic Death Korps of Krieg. And I've been wanting them. I know all of you have been wanting them. I think everybody's been wanting them. We're getting them. It's gonna be epic. And they're multi-part kits, so you're gonna be able to kit bash them to your heart's delight. You're also going to be able to kit them out as just standard lasgun guys, or you can do special weapons, which I think is really cool, because that to me tells me that we're going to potentially be getting new troops boxes out of this that maybe aren't specifically tied to just Kill Team. It might just be a standard 40K box that we get new troops with. And that's awesome, because that means we'll have the Cadian box that just released with new upgrades, and we'll have this Death Korps Krieg one, which will give lots of more opportunities for people to do other things. I'm super hyped. And honestly, the models look amazing. Like the guard, like all the veterans and stuff, like they're great. I love, of the Death Korps, I think my favorite models was definitely the medic. I thought that little combo was spectacular. I like seeing all of these like other roles coming out. I did find it interesting. Let me look up the name because I wrote it down. For the Death Korps, they had a Zealot veteran. And I thought this was a really interesting addition, because you've noticed or at least I've noticed, as they've started releasing more kits and everything throughout the last year, they're really starting to bring the faith element back into the game. They kind of had stepped away from it, I feel like a little bit. And now I feel like they're bringing it back in and they're adding a lot of chaplains, a lot of priests to like armies and everything like that. And I really like the inclusion of this model. So he's a really cool one. I've already mentioned the medic. The sergeant obviously is really cool. Like really all of them are. But the ones that actually have me the most excited in this box are all of those Ork Commandos. There are a lot of them, which I think is really cool. They have a lot of different options. These guys, much like the Death Korps of Krieg, are also going to be able to have multi-part, and they're going to be, you can kit them out as standard Boyz, or you can give them the special weapons like you saw, or like you've seen in the video and everything. The Knob in particular, like he is probably one of my favorite models because I love the cap that he has on. I love that it's actually hiding his expression partially. So it makes that like expression on his mouth just so much just better. I don't know. There's something about that model that really, really I love. But we also get the bomb squig, which is fantastic. Like he's so freaking cute, and he's got all this dynamite around him. It's so fun. I loved seeing him in the animation too. I don't think he survived. Also, the Commando Grot, which I am also calling the Grapple Grot because he has a grappling hook, and it's freaking so cute. Of all of the Grots that have kind of been like showcased amongst all of the Ork releases that have been coming out or have come out, I think he's leaning towards my favorite. I just love the look of that model. It's so great. I hope I can get a couple of them or something like that. But the last thing that we really need to talk about, other than the fact that, God, there's so many, I could keep going on and on about the Orks actually, but the last thing that I want to talk about in regards to Kill Team is the fact that I am finally getting something that I have been asking GW for basically since I started this channel and reporting on the news. I have been wanting new xeno terrain, and we're finally freaking getting some in this set. It's coming with Ork terrain, which I'm so excited. I love painting terrain. There's so much freedom when you're doing it because you can be as messy as you want. You can try out as many techniques and color combos, and just so much cool stuff can be done with terrain. And Ork terrain in particular, because of the very deliberate mishmashed like collaboration of pieces and materials and stuff just bolted onto these walls and buildings, and to make all of this like junk into an actual structure and everything, there's just even more potential there. So I'm really hyped for it. So we're getting buildings. We're also getting some like rubble and like junk piles and stuff, because this is definitely set to be sort of in an industrial like junk pile, which definitely fits for, you know, 40K and everything like that. But you also get a few Imperial barricades that the Death Korps bring with them, which I love that they come with their spades. That is fantastic. It's gonna be a really good box. Now, the one thing that we do need to talk about is the fact that this box is going to be limited. It is going to be only around for as long as they make it. They have not said specifically how many they're making. I don't expect it to be a lot. However, they did say that everything in this kit will be sold separately at a later date, including the models and the terrain, which I think is what most people are probably going to care about. Obviously, the core rulebook and everything will be out and everything separately as well, but it's nice to see that they're actually going to be releasing this box completely as separate pieces later on, because I believe in the past they did not do that, and I don't like when they do that. I always think that if they're going to start having these portions, like this portion of their product that they're going to specifically make limited as these big box launches, then they need to be separating the boxes down consistently so that people can still get a hold of these products. Because especially with plastic kits, it just doesn't make sense to me why they couldn't just split them apart. But it's good that they're doing it for this, and I'm really, really excited for that. Oh my God, I think that's everything about Kill Team that we need to talk about. We don't know when it's coming out yet, but I do want to say that because the hosts of the live stream on Saturday did in fact have copies of the box in hand to unbox so that they could show off all the sprues and confirm some things for people, that I assume that we are going to be getting this relatively within like the next 2 months or so. I don't feel like that they would have physical copies or show them off so vividly without actually having it slightly ready to go soon. So I'm hoping that that'll be good. And for those of you who are wondering about your armies that maybe aren't the Orks or the Death Korps of Krieg veterans, and you're like, hey, well, what about my armies? I play Kill Team, but I'm not really interested in those two. Don't worry, there will be a compendium book that comes out along with the box, I believe is what they said, so that it will basically update the rules for all of the other factions and models that are currently available for Kill Team. So it is a full new edition. I'm really excited for it. It's about bloody time that they finally gave us this, because I know that all through 2020, people were hoping and really like wanting Kill Team to come out. Now it is. Hopefully they'll give us a date soon. Hey guys, if you are enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and let me know about it down in the comments. If you haven't already and you're wanting more content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon for notifications. And then if you want even more hobby goodness, make sure to follow me on Instagram or Twitter at hobby_night. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the video. Next, let's go ahead and talk about something that I think people are going to be way less excited for, and that is Warzone Octarius. That's right, they're coming out with another narrative book that's going to have some competitive rules in it, which I know is a constant point of contention for a lot of people, especially considering the Chaos Space Marines still have not gotten their 2 wounds, and they've released several of these Warzone books. So I do find it kind of interesting that they keep releasing them. At least this one is tying to the Kill Team release, and it is going to involve the Orks, I believe Tyranids, and the not Death Guard, the Guardsmen. So maybe it'll be interesting, but I don't have high hopes.
Right, you gits. Enough mucking about with them plans. The boss says it's time for the war, and the homies think they know what's coming for them. But what they don't know is we've got even bigger squigs. Whoa. Squigs so big they can pull an old rig of boys, and they're dead killy. The boss has got himself a squig with massive teeth to ride on. He ain't gonna walk like the rest of you sad lot. What? Oh, he is. Well, he's the boss. He can do what he's fucking well likes. The homies reckon they's got a gargan all nice and dead. They'll never suspect the boss is using it as a super shooty command center. Also, I heard the great white squig is here with that hard as nails boss scrag badge. So even the regular boys have got some new stuff. And about them copters the mechs forgot how to build since Blackreach. Well, they remembered them again. Right, that's the signal, boys. Time to get stuck in.
I'm so excited for all of these new Orks. Okay, so they talked about Kill Team, they talked about the Warzone, but I don't care. Let's talk about the Beast Snaggas, because we got to see a bunch of new models that are also going to be coming out with them. We also found out a release date for that really cool box set that they hinted at, or showed off actually, I believe in May. So we know when it's coming out. You can pre-order it starting this coming Saturday on July 17th, 2021. I'm definitely going to be getting myself a copy. I think when I first saw the box announced, I went ahead with my FLGS and was like, hello, I need this box. I have confirmed I do have one still on pre-order. So I'm really hyped for it, but let's talk about the other models that will be launching. Like, I don't think they're coming out with this box or anything like that, so don't get that. But let's talk about the other models that will be coming with the Beast Snagga line, because it's an entirely new Ork line and I'm super hyped for it. And I want to start by talking about the Kill Rig and the Hunter Rig, because holy cow, talk about your thick squig boys. I love this model. I think my preferred model of the two variants is actually the Hunter version, because I actually don't really like the way that the Werboy is at the top of the Killa one, honestly. I'm a little disappointed that it's the same model that they showed us recently, just separate and everything like that, or just in that kit rather. So I don't know, it didn't strike me as much, but I really, really liked the look of the hunter one. But the thing that really sells me on this particular model is that squig. It's just, he's so darn cute. I love how many small animal creatures, and this guy isn't small even, so I don't know why I use that adjective, but there have been some small animal creatures, but I love how many animal creatures are just coming along into these kits. I mean, it makes sense, they are the beast Snaggas, so of course they would have a bunch of beasts, but like, it warms my heart so much that we have them. And okay, let's talk about some other models, because it's not just the killer rig or the hunter rig. We got to look at some other cool stuff. We got the beast boss. This guy, when I first saw him, when they first flashed him on the screen, I was like, oh my God, I love him. And then I looked at him a little bit more. I still love him, but at first I thought he was gonna be my favorite. He's not my favorite. I actually, after having studied him for a little bit and having to have the adorably tiny, like, targeting squig that's on his shoulder pointed out to me by the Chaos Cultist, because I did not see it, I've decided that this model I think is a little too busy. I do love all of the intense furs and everything. I really like that they went beast heavy with him. It makes sense. He's, based on his name and everything, being the beast boss. So of course he would have more of that in there, but like, I don't know if it was just the color scheme that they used or whatever, but I did not see that squig, and I'm disappointed that I didn't immediately see that squig. So I just feel like it might be a little bit too busy of a model. Still really cool though. I'll probably end up getting one. Maybe I'll try some different paint schemes on it. Then they showed us the big boy. We got Mosrog Scragbad on the best squig name I've ever heard. He's riding Champa the Great White Squig-a-saurs, and I love everything about this. I love the title. I love the fact that squig is called Champa. I love that he's a great white shark. I really, really now want to like paint, because there's an alternate version of, so that's the name character for this model. It does in fact come with a beast boss on a Squig-a-saurs just separately, so it is a multi-part kit. You don't necessarily have to make the named guy. You can just run it as a normal beast boss, riding a Squig-a-saurs, which is super, super rad. So for the one that comes with like the one that is not the named guy, what I'm thinking for, because I'm a wrestling fan and every time I hear Squig-a-saurs, I just think Luchasaurus, I want to paint one up as Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and I think that would be super, super fun. And it makes me so happy. This model really excites me. It's totally got my creative juices flowing. Really, honestly, all of these orcs do. I just love this new line. I've never been more excited for a launch. Now, let's talk about the Boyz, because we got some Boyz and we knew that they were coming. We had seen them on the back of the Cadian box actually, and we had kind of talked about it a little bit, but they've confirmed more of them. They look stunning. Of all of the modern releases for new troops, I think these are my favorite. There is a level of just finesse on them. They still feel orky, but yet they're kind of refined in a weird way. Like, it's just such a good set. And I honestly think they're really cool, but the thing that I am 100% the most excited for is we're finally getting some new mother truckin' death copters, and they look amazing. I love them. They are not on a plastic stick peg thing to get them off of the ground, which I absolutely hated about the ones that came in the 5th edition starter set, because it sucked. Like they fell off. I really hate that type of like just lift off of a model, because I don't like it, but how they have handled it here with having like, they're so low to the ground, they're kind of dragging stuff. It looks so good to me. I am so hyped for these models. Like, it's going to be so, so cool. I want to know how many of you are going to be getting some, because I feel like, they were so limited. There was no way to get them other than through that starter set originally and then Forge World. So they're not something that a lot of people have. I want to know how many orc players out there are suddenly going to have just a ton of Death Coptas in their lists. It's going to be amazing. Then we got another terrain piece, which I was so excited for. We have the Bigged Boss Bunka, which is the head of a Gargant that has been like lobbed off, and now your like bosses can stand in it, and it can basically function as a command center for them. I'm going to be very curious to see how this actually functions rules-wise, because obviously GW has made an effort to include a terrain feature for every new 40k army that they've been releasing for the boxes and everything like that. They've been trying to, at least. Space Marines got one, the Necrons got one, Death Guard has got one. Obviously now the Orks are, and I'm okay with that. I actually think this one looks like the one that I feel like people are going to use the most regularly as just straight terrain and potentially not use it as whatever its rules are. But I want to see how they're going to actually add in the rules for this, because I do like the idea of this being a thing that happens in the games. So far I haven't really seen it executed very well. This gives me some hope that maybe they do something cool, just because of how big this terrain piece is and how the fact that I think a lot of people are gonna end up picking it up just to have it on their table, because it looks really, really cool. Let me know what you guys think of this. I'm definitely going to be pre-ordering like I said, I already pre-ordered my copy through my FLGS, but let me know if you guys are gonna be pre-ordering yours through Games Workshop and everything on the 17th when it becomes available. I'm definitely wanting to get the box. I hope we get to find out when these other kits come out, because they did not mention specifically when they're going to be going up for pre-order, but I'm assuming it's not going to be too far after the main launch box and everything like that, just because I don't think they're going to want to separate them that much. And with actual stores and stuff opening up and allowing play and things now, I'm imagining we're going to see a lot more emphasis on actually getting out there and playing these new armies, and maybe correcting some of the overpoweredness of some of the older armies that didn't really get play tested well through the pandemic. Who knows? But that has been the Snaggas news.
Suffer not the unclean to live. Lead us from death to victory, from falsehood to truth. Lead us from despair to hope, from faith to slaughter. Lead us to his strength and an eternity of war. Let his wrath fill our hearts. Death, war, and blood. In vengeance, serve the Emperor. In the name of Dawn.
And finally, as the live stream wrapped up, they left us with a little bit of a teaser trailer featuring the Black Templar, Sons of Dawn, my lovely boys. And honestly, I'm not really sure what it means specifically, but I definitely think it might be leaning towards possibly new rules for Crusade, because, I mean, the Black Templar are Crusaders after all. Maybe that's what it's about. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I'm definitely interested to know what that is, because I love me some Sons of Dawn. Now, if you guys have enjoyed this episode, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel for more, and hit that bell icon for notifications. I want to give an extra special thanks to my Patreons for supporting me, which you can find their names here. And if you want to join them in these hollowed halls of the Hobby Nights, then you can join the Patreon as well. You can find a link in the description below. Anyways, I have been Angela. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time and on Fridays for another hobby video.